What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome. Good morning. Oh, I didn't even see I was on there. What's up? Welcome to Hump Day with Hansen. I'm Hansen. We got our guy Tommy T-Bone on the other side of the glass there producing this here live stream. Make sure you are liking and subscribing to our YouTube page. That's kind of been a focus. We've had a very good year, but things have kind of leveled off a little bit. So a few more subscribers would be nice. Here, it's one of the reasons I'm doing this little Hump Day with Hansen deal. As I've discussed, it's a good time to do this because on Wednesday morning, we don't know crap, basically. No one knows anything about the week that, well, we know a little bit, obviously, but we don't know much about the injuries and all that. So I've kind of put myself in this position where I don't know either. Everybody, but obviously I have spent some time already this week preparing for the upcoming matchups. I actually do have some rankings that I've done for the week, which is not typical. I usually get to it after we do this, but I wanted to kind of go right into the lineup questions here, Thomas. By the way, I don't think we want to spend a lot of time on, wide receiver, cornerback matchups and all that. We can get into it as we move along and answer questions. But I did want to get out of here in about an hour, actually. Sure. And, of course, we started late. But I would say let's go right to it, and we'll see how long it takes for us to answer all these lineup questions.
Well, keep in mind, today's schedule is a little bit different for listeners if they're unaware. You might be thinking, why would we not want to talk about wide receiver cornerback matchups? Because matchup points is tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So we really don't want to be diving into that show twice, like you said. So we'll kick it off with El Jefe here with 0.5 PPR, DJ Moore or Jennings. And he also has Abdullah, McNichols, or Tracy. It is a wild line of questions to kick the show off.
Yeah. Real quick, I don't know if that link worked that you just pushed out to social media. It could be me. It could be slow on the uptake, but I just quote tweeted it. If you want to check into that,
I will.
Because last thing we want. I mean, people can go right to the live stream.
Correct.
On
All
YouTube.
Things look
obviously.
good here.
Okay. All right. Well, sometimes Twitter's a little slow on the uptake. All right.
It is.
DJ Moore or Jennings and Abdullah, McNichols or Tracy. I mean, I did do very early rankings here, and I'm sure I have Tracy higher because your boy is looking pretty good. I mean, Dallas, they did play well last week. They jacked up B-Rob on the first damn carry, but they have given up a lot. I have some info here on they're giving up like the most, I believe it's the most yards before contact. Let's take a look here. Dallas, fifth most. They allow the fifth most adjusted yards before contact, 2.52, 4.5 yards a carry, ninth most rushing yards. It's Cooper Rush. They're not going to light it up on the other side. You would think he'll get volume here. So definitely, we got to go Tracy. I don't know about we have to, but I'm going to go Tracy there over the others. McNichols is very interesting. McNichols might do better. I mean, if Brian Robinson and Eckler are out and we're talking PPR, he could. But your boy Tracy he's still not really getting the targets, right?
That's the thing that's very annoying. Considering he's a former wide receiver, but this was the first game since week 6 last week where he caught more than 3 passes in a game. It's his first game in a couple games where he's caught more than 1, and it was post bye week. So I'm looking to this as hopefully more of a signal, especially with a check down Charlie type quarterback. Now, granted, we might get Drew Lock by halftime. We'll see.
Yeah.
If only the Giants had another quarterback guru on their roster that could play for an injured Tommy DeVito that knew the offense, but he's since walked out the door and is now a free agent. So that's
Yeah.
Karma does
But-
come for you pretty quick.
I mean, I wrote in the Players to Trade article, once again promoting Malik Neighbors as a buy low. They do have some amazing matchups, but I wrote it. It's a tank with Tommy.
Yep.
We got to label it. It's a tank with Tommy. Welcome to Tank with Tommy. I'm your host, Tommy DeVito, aka Tommy Cutlets, and I suck. And now I'm starting because we're trying to lose, or at least we're not trying to win, playing the $5 million man, Drew Lock. Anyways.
Yeah, Shadir Sanders, you are a New York Giant. It's pretty much. I think we can pretty much lock that one up.
And that might mean that he's not any good, by the way. Honestly.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, they did draft Eli Manning. That was a good pick. But otherwise,
the coaches.
Yeah. Who have the Giants picked at quarterback? Literally in their history, who's really good?
Did they not draft Kerry Collins? I feel like Kerry Collins doesn't get the rap that he should. He was pretty good for them, taking them to a Super Bowl.
Oh, I like Kerry. I was a Kerry Collins guy, but he was drafted by the Panthers.
Oh, was he? All right. Well, never mind then. There you go. I just remember him playing for the Giants.
Oh yeah, no, Kerry Collins could sling it, man. Kerry Collins could absolutely sling it. I have a Kerry Collins story, by the way. I once ran into him in Key West, Florida, off season, May. And if you know anything about Kerry Collins, you know that he had a little alcohol problem, let's call it.
Right.
And I saw my man messed the F up, and I talked with him and his boys, and I was working for ESPN at the time, and I said, oh yeah, I write about football for ESPN, and then his boys heard that and they kind of pulled him away. But long story short, I probably had absolutely nothing to do with this, but he had just signed with the Giants, and a friend of mine worked for the Giants, so I sent him a tip. I'm like, hey man, FYI, Kerry Collins still got some problems. But right after that, he turned it around, and then he made it to the Super Bowl a year later.
Well,
so I always in the back of my head, I always wondered if me ratting him out got back somehow helped him. Basically,
a little influence.
My man was liquored up. Okay, that's the way I'll say it at this bar in Key West. So, anyways, what else we have here?
I'm looking through the Giants quarterback draft history, and it's not good, Guru. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So full point PPR. Brett, with the last name I respectfully will not try to enunciate, has Devontae, if healthy, or are we rolling out Jerry Jeudy?
Freaking Jeudy has been absolutely balling. I mean, this is best he's played. And I've kind of noticed this consistency, this newfound consistency with Jeudy. Sometimes these guys need to kind of hit rock bottom. That said, I do believe he is set up to, and I know last week, hey, what are we going to do? We were right. He saw a ton of Joey Porter, and he balled. You got to give him credit, tip of the cap. But this week, we're going to see Surtain.
Yeah.
In a shadow situation. So I'm going Devontae if healthy for sure right there. And I'm trading for Devontae, by the way.
Yes, I recently did actually as well. Keep in mind, Tillman is dealing with a concussion. So he may be out, which probably hyper focuses Jerry Jeudy a little bit more. So I think you are right here. Also, the Eagles get Baltimore. So Devontae could get 1 for 65 because he gets behind Brandon Stevens. Let's just be real. That guy is so terrible.
I do think your Ravens are improving. Clearly, they're improving. You got to give them some credit.
It was an interesting game in terms of their improvement. The Chargers' game plan was very odd to me, where they continuously just tried to run the ball on Baltimore. It makes no sense. But really, at the end of the day, Quentin Johnston's just really bad. And I think if they had another decent receiver not named Ladd, I think they pull that out. Also, Herbert missed about 2 or 3 wide open deep balls as well, which is very unlike him. But I'll take the win. I'll tell you that much. Mark
was M one of them to Johnston? Was any? I know the ball in the end zone.
No,
don't think-
they're basically all a Palmer. Johnson was just
Right.
having everything go off of his hands, and
Yeah. And I
the
did not like Palmer, or I know I like Palmer. I did not like Quentin Johnson, but
yeah,
I've kind of warmed up to him a little bit just because he's freaking making plays and scoring, but it's
mhm,
all been fluky.
it is. Yeah, he has the second most points on broken coverage in the year per the Fantasy Points data suite,
Yep.
and yeah, the Palmer miss was a double move, absolutely cooked, and Herbert just missed him by 3. That would have been
Mm.
that's a 14 to 15 point play.
Josh
Luckily,
Palmer is good, man. He's good.
he's
He's a
a
good
good
route
player.
runner. He's a
Yep.
good player. I was been very high on him from the beginning. I believe he was a Senior Bowl guy, I believe, but I absolutely liked him. And he's getting pinched a little bit.
Shout out Canada. Another Canadian NFLer out there.
Oh, is
Um,
he? Okay.
yeah. Mark M
Yeah, I
says
think I did know that.
he says, Guru, gotta win this week or I'm out. It's on the
Uh-oh.
line. Point per completion plus 6-point passing touchdowns. Who do you start this week? Cousins versus the Charger. Winston versus the Broncos. Russ versus Cincy. Kyler versus the Vikings. Or Purdy if playing versus the Bills. The pressure and the heat is on.
Kyler Murray is the answer, and
Okay.
I'll tell you one of the reasons why. What did I say on Sunday? The Vikings do not stop stud or one receivers,
Mm-hmm.
and DJ Moore went over 100 with a tutty. It was looking dire. So Marvin Harrison, they're not stopping Marvin Harrison this week. I don't care about any of the schematics. This is the Viking fan in me. Kyler will have a good game.
Okay. I can vibe
I
with
really
that.
believe that. Vikings are giving up a little bit on the ground, with 5 carries a game for what it's worth. Oh, how about Kyler averaging fewer than under 14 yards a game rushing in his
Mm-hmm.
last 4? I mean, that's pretty bad. But, Viking secondary, it's beatable. I like Harrison here. They might slow down McBride a little bit, but I think Kyler will get it done.
Yeah, again, for the most part, I'll always default to a runner. That's just kind of how I break the tie, even though he's not.
Yeah.
He's scoring rushing touchdowns. He's still got 4 on the year, which would be his second most since 2020. So I'll
Right.
I'll take Kyler there, and they got to have it. And there's something about that, trusting that your guys have got to have it. To me, I don't know. It just gives me hope week to week that they're going to try their best, I guess.
Yeah.
KO says Josh Downs dropped in my league. Should I claim him for the playoffs? Need to beef up at RB and wide receiver. He's unlikely to play this week and on bye next week. Are you picking up Josh Downs for a hopeful playoff run, or does the injury scare you away?
I mean, I've spoken with Josh Downs himself about how he plays a little bit of reckless abandon. He did not disagree. I've told this story before, but when I sat down with him in Indy, I was like, bruh, love your playing style. You'll put your body on the line, but I'm sitting right next to you, dude. You're not that big of a guy. He's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, you need to simmer down a little bit here, protect that body a little bit more in the NFL. It's not really working out. He can't help it. He just plays. That's the way he plays. Kind of reminds me of myself sometimes, honestly, because I used to get hurt all the time playing football, all the time. Make a great catch, come down, separate a shoulder, you name it, man. A little soft there. I was a space player, if you will.
Oh,
Is
Sorry,
that
go
Daniel
ahead.
Jones news official?
yes, it's looking
Yeah.
like it. Sorry, I just saw it come across my ticker.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Daniel Jones signing with the Vikings. Is that? We'll confirm that.
I'm working on it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like it as a Vikings fan because guess what? I'd rather have Nick Mullins, I think, than who'd you rather have, Nick Mullins or Danny Dimes? I mean, Nick Mullins threw a million yards last year.
I don't think it's anything more than emergency backup. I don't think he's even on the team next year.
Right.
But
But
I really think it's just emergent. I don't mind it because I think every playoff team should be going to get a quarterback that has
yeah,
experience.
sure.
Like why
Sure.
Miami
Sure.
didn't just like throw whatever Daniel Jones wanted at him is beyond me.
Yeah.
Because if Tua goes down again, they're still stuck with Skyler. So or Snoop Huntley, Pro Bowler, if you would.
Mhm.
I like you need good backups, and a bad to mid-tier starter is a great backup. So I love it
Yeah.
in terms of having safety there. And teams seem to like the playoff experience. Like Daniel Jones does technically have playoff experience, so maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but I think it's a good move. I think every playoff team, I think Baltimore should have been in on him, but we like Josh
Yeah.
Johnson apparently.
Josh Johnson. Is he the 2?
Yeah, he's there too. There,
Oh my God. He's been around since the 90s, it feels like. I mean,
I think he's got 17 years playing on 14 different teams.
oh my God. I hadn't even thought of that. Wow.
Mhm.
But I think ultimately the thing with the Vikings is they're going to get a compensatory pick
Mhm.
from the team that signs him next year. So
Yep.
that almost more than anything might be. I got to see this Josh Johnson. This is unbelievable.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
why also he's
truly,
usually a Raven, like because they are
yeah,
the bonus pick kings of the NFL, and yeah.
yeah. Oh nine, oh nine. It's only been 9 years.
Oh, all right. Well, they make it
Yeah,
seem like
yeah.
he's been in there forever.
I mean, well, it seems like that. I mean, he didn't play for 2 years. He was out of the league basically in the Alliance of
Yeah, he's
American
been
Football League, whatever the
yeah,
hell
he's
that
been
is, and then the XFL.
yeah, he's been everywhere.
Wow. Wow. Well, there you go. Daniel Jones. Doesn't really matter, but there you go.
It
Hey,
could
Sam
end up
Darnold
mattering.
is definitely, yeah, it could. It could. Again, I think I'd rather have Nick Mullins. But yeah. I mean, Daniel Jones doesn't throw down the field anymore. I'm told in my ear that that's problematic. Sources.
Right. You're not wrong. As for the question, I would just say Josh Downs is probably a better player than the worst player at the bottom of your bench. So I think he's
Yeah.
worth picking up in the future. Just keep that in mind. Do it a little
Yeah.
early. I think you could be fine for the playoffs. I mean, AR is gambling no matter what. So, but I'm an upside guy. So just
Week
keep in mind.
15 is a little scary. Week 15 against Denver might be a little scary, but week 16 against Tennessee and then week 17 at the Giants, that's not as scary, I don't think, for
Yeah.
Downs. So, yeah, yeah. That's a good way to frame it. He's probably better than the lowest guy you got for sure because this is a guy that, when he's healthy and with not a scary matchup at least, he's in top 25 for most people.
100%. Yeah, we love him on the site every week. So yeah, if he's available, I mean, absolutely.
Great dude.
Uh,
I'll give you that. I'm telling you that. He's an awesome guy. Love
hell
that.
yeah. Steve Lindor says, "Morning, boys. PPR league. I need 2 this week out of Warren, Gus, Pop Douglas, and Darnell Mooney."
Well, I mean, I very much think highly of Mooney if he's active here. I mean, very much is a little strong, but I did notice that, he could see a lot of Christian Fulton, who has been all right, I guess, but he's beatable. I'm pretty sure he got beat up last week, actually. Didn't was that Flowers who got Fulton last week?
That would
A
have
couple
Bateman.
times. Oh, Bateman. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So I think that based on alignment numbers, Mooney should see Fulton. Um, Schematically, it was a plus matchup barely. Um, London, I think, is also looking good. Pitt's not looking good. Chargers have been tough against tight ends, so I definitely go Mooney there for sure with confidence if he's practicing. They said it wasn't a serious hamstring injury in his last game, and he did have a bye last week. So
Right.
and then I mean I like Warren.
Yeah,
Um,
gotta play Warren.
Yeah, I like Warren over Gus in the PPR in America. But by the way, it looks like, well, it's a definite here. Dobbins, per Ian Rappaport, is out this week at
Yeah.
least. So,
The problem with the
you
Gus
know,
Bus is he looks completely washed.
yeah,
He
that's
looks
also problematic.
washed. Yeah. And PPR, I think I like the way you're going there. Warren and Mooney if he plays, and then probably
Yeah.
Pop Douglas over Gus. But that's probably the way I would look at it as well. Yeah, after the bye week, I need Mooney to play. That dude has been unreal for my flex spots this year. Mark
Yeah,
Farmer says,
I would probably go Gus though. By the way, over
interesting,
Pop. You
interesting.
know,
Okay.
I mean, I think a lot of points will be scored in that game. What is the total here? It should be pretty high scoring. I know both defenses are a little bit better than we all thought in the summer. Let me see here what that total is. I'm betting you it's up. It's got to be upwards of pushing 50 here. It's got to be. Let's take a look. 48. Okay, there you go. That is one of the highest totals on the board. You got Philly, Baltimore at 51, and you have LA, New Orleans at 48.5, and LA, Atlanta is 48. And there you go. It's the third highest total actually, fourth highest total on the board because Chicago, Detroit is at 48.5. So there's that. What else we have?
We've got Mark Former saying, "Good morning."
Good morning.
He wants to know if you're enjoying any lumpia tomorrow.
I might have to. I'm on my own here. I'm by myself. My family went to New Jersey. I had to stay around and work I had to watch the dog. That is a good call. I may have to go with lumpia. What that reference is, a couple of years ago, we did a Thanksgiving food draft on the Sirius XM morning show, and producer Rob Phoenix in round 3 went lumpia, and I had never heard of lumpia. I'm like, what the F is lumpia? And then it was like a bit. It was like a joke. People love that one, the lumpia. Yeah, but ironically, I like lumpia. I've had lumpia since, actually. I ordered it in Los Angeles. I was out with the great James Coe, fantasy analyst, friend of the podcast, and I just saw that lumpia was on the menu. I'm like, we're getting lumpia, dude. We're getting a little appetizer, a little lumpia appetizer. It's basically a cheesesteak egg roll, is what it is. And I like cheesesteak egg rolls.
Well, you're gonna need some options for this week here, Guru. He does need to know Mahomes or Herbert. He says, I chose wrong last week with Herbert. Think about going back to the well, though. He says, thanks and happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody else. I do have Herbert higher. Let me just check in on this one. And, Mahomes has had a lucrative history crushing the Raiders. That was a different, some different schemes over the years, but yeah, last 3 games, including, this is only going back to last year, he's been all right, 19.2. They're giving up 3 tutties a game passing, by the way. That's a lot. Mahomes, as we predicted here 5 weeks ago, is getting 2.5 touchdown passes per game now because, like we said, dude's not throwing 17. Sorry, he's just not. So I'll have to check back when I said that and what I said, but I believe I said he's getting 20 from here on out, and it was like probably from like week 8 on out, or about week 8, maybe 9, and I think we're on track. That said, though, let me take a look at Herbert here. I like the Chargers in this one. It's in Atlanta, dome game, no weather. Kirky and the Falcons are pretty potent. Quarterbacks in this matchup, yeah, I'm going Herbert. Quarterbacks are completing 71% of their passes against the Falcons in their last 4, and they're getting just under 3 tutties a game, 26 points a game. So you got to go Herbert, period.
I like the call. I like the call. And if they can't rely on the ground game as much, Herbie might do it on the ground himself.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's averaging 32 rushing yards a game on 5 carries. All of a sudden, he's a freaking cheat code guy. 5/32/0.5 per game in his last 4 on the ground. So that's 3 points. He's got 6 points per game on the ground in his last 4.
Yeah, if his wide receivers could catch a ball, he would be doing very well. Will says, "Good morning, John and Tommy T."
How great is Ladd?
Very good. Very
God,
good. They just need to give him 13 targets a game at this point.
I feel better about taking him over. By the way, I haven't even looked to see if I won in the Fantasy Points Dynasty League this week. I probably lost. But I took Ladd over Brian Thomas. And after like week 4, I'm like, oh crap. Yeah, I did lose last week. Damn it. I don't know how I lost. But Ladd is crushing it here as oh, you got to be shitting me. I lost by 3. I scored 146 last week and lost to Bro Dolan. You've got to be shiting me. He had Waddle get 28 damn points. Freaking, this one. Oh, you got to be. This is what I'm saying. I have the worst luck. Friggin' Chiggy Okonkwo. Are you kidding me? 14 points?
He should get docked points for just starting Chiggy, let alone having him go off.
Jesus.
Will says, "Good morning and a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the lumpia." He says, "I need 2 in a PPR. Debo, Jaden Reed, Mooney, or Skinny Batman. Thank you."
Hey, I'm going Mooney and Skinny Batman if they're good to go. I'm sorry. Debo looks heavy.
Washed.
You think he's washed?
Yeah, like a nice clean load of laundry. He's been washed. I'm good.
He does drift in and out of the eyeball test. I will say
the roll not there that it used to be. They're like going other like with Kittle, the X, and how they used to run. Like the thing that made him so great is not only his target volume, but the specialized touches, and those aren't even there right now. So it's just not looking good at all. Maybe it's a health thing. I'm overreacting, but he's been at least a dynasty sell for me for 6 to 7 weeks, getting any 27 first I could get, and I don't think I'm going to be upset by that.
Yeah, man, it's it's a small sample size, I guess, of the career. Like if we're dropping off a cliff, what is this, year 6?
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing there. I was a big Debo guy. You weren't around then, but I was very out in front on Debo. I love Debo. I had him over everyone. I had him as my number 1 receiver that year over freaking AJ Brown, which wasn't the correct call. So I'm not bragging, but I love Debo. I actually predicted to Debo on SiriusXM that he would be drafted by the Niners. And the reason I knew that is because Kyle Shanahan had him at the Senior Bowl.
There you go.
I knew that they wanted a physical receiver. I'm like, dude, bruh, you're going to be a Niner. Congrats. He was like, all right. I'm like, boom, it happened. But yeah, I hear you there. But I do like Mooney and Devontae, if healthy, over Debo and Jaden Reed, because those 2 dudes are good offenses, driving us crazy. Yes, absolutely driving us crazy.
Yeah, can we just get Jaden Reed in the JSN role or something? Because my gosh.
It is absolutely dreadful. And I liked Watson last week, if you recall, on the live stream. I told a lot of people, he had it. Freaking 49-yard tutty right in the hands, man. I would have caught that one.
Yeah, I can't trust anyone in Green Bay in terms of their receiving core on a week-to-week basis. Steve says
it's brutal.
He needs a starting quarterback for this week. Cousins, Kyler, or Russ. I think we kind of answered this one earlier. Said wasn't sure if Mr. Guru had a different ranking for those 3 compared to the fantasy points sites. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, as we've discussed here, I mean, we should probably change the text there. The weekly projections on the site are not mine. Collaborative effort, sure, but that's Chris Wecht. Let's see where he has it. But I do kind of like the fact that I'm doing my own, and I actually do a pretty rough projection just to help me with the rankings, because that's just how I've always done it. I'm not going to just line them up there. Oh, you're quarterback 1, you're 2, you're 3. No, I do a loose projection. He doesn't have Kyler very high this week. Well, yeah, I mean, he's not running, but I'm going Kyler. What were the other options there, real quick, just to see if there's anyone?
We have got Russ or Cousin.
Okay. Per the rankings, it is Kyler still. So we're going Kyler. I have Kyler a lot higher. I am a long-suffering Vikings fan, and I'm usually right on this kind of stuff with the Vikings. Marvin Harrison, start him. Start
Okay.
him.
All right.
Start him with confidence.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Mark Farmer again, Amir Abdullah, Michael Pittman Jr., Jalen Warren in the flex at a 0.5 PPR.
0.5. I mean, Abdullah is tempting, but I like Warren. I mean, Warren's looking good. I said it a million times. I liked Najee this summer as a pick. I also liked Warren. I liked them both. I thought I said that they could both probably roll as like RB2s, low end RB2s, and we're kind of there. I mean, we'll see. But against Cincinnati is the key here. They're potent, and I think that we can catch some balls here in this one. We got a 48 total in the game. Pittsburgh, they are favorites, it looks like, but it's in Cincinnati. They could easily be playing from behind in this game. The Bengals haven't given up a lot of catches of running backs lately, but let's take a look at who they've played. I know they're not great against tight ends. Chargers, they don't throw much to the backs. Baltimore, complete potluck. Raiders, bunch of Jags. And then the Eagles, they don't really do much there. I don't think that's indicative of them being like not, giving up reception. So I'm gonna go Warren there.
I am in agreement with you. Debo or Vele this week?
Wow. Is that where we're at?
That is where we're at.
I did like Vele last week. I had him on the in the Hansen Hints article as a reach. I wrote it up, and I had a feeling the new pet project for Sean Payton. Let me see where I have. Oh, I'm looking for where I have him because I haven't done them yet. That's why. Let's take a look here at Vele's situation. I do recall it being somewhat intriguing here. But do we trust Sean Payton? That's the one thing. I mean, do we trust it? Let's see here. What the hell? I can't.
I'll say I trust Bo Nix, if that helps.
Yeah,
He hasn't failed to crack 10 PPR points in his last 3 matchups. Did score versus Kansas City, has seen an uptick in targets of 4, 5, and then 9. Playing from the slot in a game they need to have.
Yeah.
It's tempting.
I mean, I do like the Brown corners, but we're not showing a good schematic matchup for Vele this week.
Mm-hmm.
We did last week, by the way. Yet, these corners just give up production. They just do. Man, this is tough. Let me go look at Debo real quick.
Debo has not crossed past 13 fantasy points since week 6 versus Seattle.
All right. I've made up my mind. I'm going Debo. Let's mark this one down. Well, I mean, not to be overly simplistic, but sometimes this works. You want Debo against zone.
Fair. I mean, that is something I will take to the bank. You are not wrong with that. I'm just really hoping we get Brock Purdy so we don't have to watch Allen play quarterback again this week, because that was painful.
Right. No, I am assuming it's Brock Purdy, because if it's not, then I would go Vele. But by the way, for what it's worth, we do show it as a positive schematic matchup for Debo.
You have a lot more time in the game than I do. Have you seen a team lie and deceive about their injury report and have it go unpunished as much as San Francisco has done this year specifically? It feels like they are constantly manipulating their injury report. How does nobody in San Francisco have a read or a beat on this?
Well, things have evolved and changed. Yeah, I have. I mean, the Patriots have been a nightmare for 30 years. Everyone's
Mm,
questionable. Everyone is questionable. You could rest in a hyperbaric chamber for 3 months, come out, and you're still questionable under the Belichickian. But also, the reporting has just kind of faded away. Part of it is limited access with the new CBA, I guess. But it's just not like it used to be. You know, people ask me, "Oh, how do you know Adam Schefter?" I know Adam Schefter because Adam Schefter worked for me 25 years ago. I used to employ beat writers for each team, and I would say, "Look, I'll give you this much compensation, and I just want to be able to reach out to you whenever I need, basically, call you, email, whatever." And Shefty was my guy, and he crushed, by the way, with the information. Of course, he is Adam Schefter. I mean, he's the best. But back then, I kind of started this whole thing, by the way, with giving love to the beat writers in the magazine that I produced starting in '04. It's 20 years ago. I had an article called 32 Beat Writers Answer 32 Questions. So I asked a beat writer for every team one critical fantasy related question, got their answer, published it, blah, blah, blah. No one else was really doing that 20 years ago. So I started all that. But now it's like I know several beat writers. I don't even bother asking them anymore, like insider tips, because they probably don't know.
yeah, it's
So,
changed that much. So
yeah.
another Kyler question. Red Dot Special says Tua, Carr, Levis, Kyler, or AR this week.
Wow. Still going, Kyler.
Okay, I like it. I like that. That is, you're locked in. I love it. Red Dot, you got a couple there. I will circle back to them. I want to hit some of these other ones here. Kyle asked Daniels or Love this week. He says Bo Nix is also on waivers. This is a must-win scenario.
I like Love. But again, this is where you know what? This is where we go. Oh, somebody's calling. My wife's calling me. Camera, buddy. There it is. Oh, you know what? I hope she's not having an issue there. She's trying to
I
rent a
can handle
car.
this. You can do this.
No. No. I mean, we can wrap up shortly. I can text her while I'm talking. Daniel's last week, it was not great.
Surviving on the
Wow.
rushing for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, for most of the game, I was thinking we were looking at another fall off a Cliff Kingsbury scenario. I mean, that was my thought the last couple of weeks watching DC. Like, oh, looks like they suck again. I mean, you take away the McLaurin play last week. What the hell did they do throwing the ball? That said, you got to trust the rushing for Daniels a little bit more. I do have him close, and I do have Daniels down the board a little bit, but Tennessee is getting run on by quarterbacks. And I thought Jaden Daniels looked a lot more comfortable running last week. They're giving up 7 carries a game for 41 rushing yards and 0.5 tutties. So they're giving up 7 points a game to quarterbacks on the ground. So
yeah,
Daniels
and
only
the
needs
floor,
to throw for 200.
Correct. The floor for Love is not there this year. The ceiling is there. The floor doesn't feel like it is there as much. Maybe that's injuries and some of the bad luck falling on Green Bay. But the running game, I mean, Josh Jacobs at the goal line this year has been unstoppable. So
their identity, I would argue, is their running game now. Which is just the most counterintuitive thing ever. I mean, shout out to Jacobs. I actually did warm up to Jacobs somewhat significantly late in the summer, draft him into draft plan, but I still didn't envision them freaking basically becoming more of a running team. Like that's, again, if you had to pick their identity right now, it's Josh Jacobs, which is absurd because Love is good and you've got like 17 good receivers, although you're probably not going to get Romeo Dobbs this week. So yeah, let's just go Daniels there.
I agree with that. Cool Kev wants to know Vidal or Gus Edwards.
I mean, you got to go Gus.
I agree here. Vidal is Twitter's favorite player. He was a big Twitter guy amongst fantasy analysts. Had his opportunity, caught the one ball, not really been phased in. We'll see if he gets a little bit more run here in his second opportunity, but I agree with you here. Andrew Scanlon with the 499. Better flexes rest of season in a full PPR. Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper, Rico, or Tyreek. If I can't get Tyreek, it would be Debo.
How about Tyreek's ass?
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Though he was wide open a couple times last week, by the way.
Yeah, it's deceiving because he's open, and then when he gets the ball, he looks explosive. It's just they can't make it work.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
this
a
is
scary thing.
Straight up bizarre. So it's a pair. So it's like Chubb plus Cooper or Dowdle plus Tyreek.
Yeah, he's just it's that pairing. Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper or Rico and Tyreek / Debo.
Oh, totally Nick Chubb. I mean, and Cooper. I kind of like Cooper's chances of emerging. More of a gut feel. These are at best 50-50 propositions, but obviously they traded for his ass for a reason. I look at the matchups up against some defenses that play man, and that's kind of what you want for him. Very good route runner, gets open. And again, we theorize that they're looking to get more firepower to potentially take down the Chiefs. So they got to start creating some momentum, some downfield chemistry. I do believe that we're going to see some big plays from Amari Cooper going forward.
Yeah, they're going to need it. I'm with you here. I'm staying away from the old guys that look like they've lost their juice. I'm just staying away from it personally. I like your call here. Nick Chubb, I mean, hey, he's getting in there. He's getting it done.
Yeah.
Alex the Meh says, super flex question, Cousins or Winston?
Yeah. Let's take a look here. Winston does get a little bit more with his legs, right? Cousins gets like 1 yard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess he's averaging 1.4 rushing yards a game in his last four. Let's see if I can get that right. 1.4 is my guess.
I just looked at his rushing line. Oh my god.
Oh baby, 1.3. Woohoo! I love that. I love that.
A 16-yard run and then negative 11 yards and then nothing the previous 2 weeks.
I love that, man. I love getting those type of things. See, I'm a very good guesser. This is what drives my family crazy when we do like you watch like Family Feud.
I'll
guess
that one.
What the survey says. I'm like within 5% like every time. They're like, how the hell do you do? I'm like, I don't know, man. I just know. I figured it out somehow. Anyways, yeah, so we do have to answer that question. Man, this is close. I can't even find Kirky in my rankings. What the hell is he? Oh, there he is. I do have Kirky higher. Yeah, I'm going Kirky because, Surtain could take out Judy. Jameis, I don't really trust him to run. I think the Cousins offense obviously is better. I think it'll be a little bit higher scoring game. It's in Atlanta. They're coming off a bye. I'm going Kirky.
I don't hate that at all. And again, it's the narratives. They need the game. So yeah. They need it. And I love that kind of aggression. They're going to need to do it. Donnie Petrella says Daniels or Herbert this week. Quite a few Daniels questions this week.
I'm going Herbert there. I really am. Against Atlanta. We went over that matchup. They're giving up almost 3 tutties a game passing and a 71% completion rate. Not worried about AJ Terrell on no, that's the other side. Not really worried about. Oh, actually, I'm not worried about AJ Terrell on anyone. By the way, he's not really been a shutdown guy. Yeah, I'm feeling warm and fuzzy about Herbert. I don't know. I think we should, right?
I like that.
We have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see here real quick if there's anything else. It's not a great schematic, I will say that. But I don't think it's terrible by any stretch. And it looks our guy Will Dissly looking good again. Quentin Johnson, that'll be AJ Terrell. Okay. Oh, and Ladd McConkey's going to eat this week
Yes.
against D. Alford often and all that. So, and Palmer should be all right too, by the way. So, Herbert.
I love that. We have got Red Larson with the Sam Darnold or Geno Smith question.
I think Arizona's defense is pretty good. Shout out to our guy Max Melton. He's out there playing a lot. Seems to be pretty good, by the way. Let me take a look and see what he's given up on a per route basis these days. He's not actually. They don't actually. He's kind of in and out of the lineup. He might even be shifting back and forth between safety or whatever. He's out there a lot though. I see him. I'm going to go Darnold. I mean, Geno is. He's not getting touchdowns, by the way. I'm going to guess. No. See if I can guess that. What is he? I'm going to guess he's averaging 1.3 touchdown passes a game. It's probably 1.4. Let's take a look. 1.3 a game is my guess for Geno.
That's got to be close.
Oh, it's only one. There you go. Only one. Dude's got 4 touchdown passes in the last 4 games. That's not good enough, really. I mean, he's getting 260 plus, completing 60 or 70% of his passes. Oh, by the way, the Jets have given up 2 touchdown passes in their last 4 games total. 2. That's not good. So, yeah, we're going to go Darnold because Darnold gets 250/2 every damn week. Right?
Yes, he does. Like that offense is just so good. It is really hard to play poorly, and that is why you need to be buying JJ McCarthy. He is the biggest buy in dynasty I have ever seen.
Freaking-lutely.
If look, there's a narrative out there that Darnold could come back and be the starter because look what happened to Purdy. Purdy was on a rookie contract. The Vikings aren't paying Darnold $30 million a year, which is at least what it's going to cost to bring him back to be their starter while they have J.J. McCarthy on his rookie contract. It's just not going to happen. Go buy now while people have forgotten about him and they need the points. Go get him.
Absolutely.
Trade Bo Nix for him. Whatever you got to do, go get him.
Totally. I was in on McCarthy this year for sure. I actually had him higher than Daniels. I had him as my QB2, and I had Caleb at 1, unfortunately. And I like Daniels, as I've stated a million times. I definitely liked him. I liked all I saw, but I was worried about the body holding up, and that's been prevalent. But if he goes off from here on out, I might have to take like an L, which is I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of.
Guru, just remember, we don't take L's on injuries. We get to fantasy. We get to go. Well, we don't really know. Just remember that. We can always fall back on that if we have to.
I just thought Caleb was actually a little safer, with all the weapons and his running and all that. And we've seen signs of it, but certainly not good enough.
He's taken a league high 44 sacks this year, which is that's problematic.
I should have been a little bit more worried about Waldron.
Yes. Oh gosh, we all should have been from the get-go. BT1907, sounding like a droid from Star Wars, needs to know if it's Tua or Love this week.
Yeah, that's tight. I got him neck and neck. Let's take a look. Green Bay hosting Miami. I think you do the home team there just because it's Tua in Green Bay. I know that the offense is now apparently going through freaking Jonnu Smith. So, a little colder, probably not going to be that big of a deal compared to like where we were a year or two ago. But, again, I think that's probably right. Just going with Love because I feel like Love is going to maybe start running a little bit now. He's looked good, I guess, coming out of that bye. Geez, is that one game or two games now? But I thought he looked, I guess it was his last game. I thought he looked a lot better moving around,
Yes.
by the way, Jordan Love. Right?
Getting
Yeah, it
healthier.
was the second game. It was the Chicago game. He had 4 carries for 18 and that tutty. Yeah, he looks definitely a lot healthier.
Yeah, it's definitely coming around. I like your analysis here. Definitely agree. We've got Eddie H here. Is this like an Eddie Hall? Maybe? I don't know. Flex PPR, Tyrone Tracy or Mike Evans?
I mean, PPR, large Mike came through last week, at least with the prop. Boy, I got to go Evans here, man. I really do. He'll see a lot of J.C. Horn. He rocks the Panthers. Let's see if I can guess how many points per game he has against the the Panthers. Now, is this the first? I believe this is the first meeting of the year.
Yes, because the Bucks get them twice.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to go back to last year. What did Big Mike average in this matchup last year? I'm going to guess 16.7 PPR points last year against Carolina. 16.7. I can't possibly get that right, can I? 17.2, baby. Woo! Let's go. I mean, that's pretty good. He had 5 catches for 92 yards on average with a tutty. So my man went for $180 on 10 grabs with a touch in 2 matchups. So I'm going Big Mike.
Keep in mind, they are very aware of Mike Evans' 1K and 10 touchdown record. It was 2 years ago. He needed a big game in week 17 to keep that alive. They knew that. They gave him 12 targets. He caught 10 of them for 207 and 3 in 2022 in a week 17 matchup versus Carolina. They care about that. I'm playing Mike Evans everywhere I have him because they're chasing it. Second week back, playing from the hamstring injury, should get better. Yeah, he's gonna crush. I have a question here for you because we have a lot left here, but we need to wrap up around an hour. So I am taking the most unique questions we have on here, and those are the ones we're going to holler at. Dan Casey has an interesting one. Deebo Samuel or Jameson Williams?
Who
This
is
interesting.
Who is the early bird subscriber saying Breece Hall may be out this week?
I did not see that. I'll go back and have a look.
First off, hearing of that, Deebo or Jameson? I
Where are you, early bird?
I did have something on Jameson that I believe was positive here. Let's take a look. Positive schematic. Tyreek Stevenson often. I'm going Jameson. Have a pretty good total expected tomorrow in the game to open up Turkey Day, right? It's just under 50. It's one of the highest totals on the board.
Yeah,
so,
should be a good start.
Yeah, I'm all right with Jameson. I mean, not everyone's going to eat. Pretty good spot for Laporta, by the way. But yeah, I'm going to go Jameson.
So far, the only thing I can see in reports is that he has a sore knee. He's not expected to practice today. Still hopeful. So just it looks like some running back soreness / this team sucks and maybe I don't want to play for them. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Just that for a little bit of narrative, I guess.
Seattle's run defense has been a lot better lately.
It has
look
been.
Look at freaking Connor last week. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. That was my worst prop pick out of 160 on the year. James Conner. I had 17 positive data points to back it up, and he shit the bed. He had 1 yard to carry. I mean, come on, bruh. Anyways,
Yeah, it's something to monitor here for sure with Hall. Not worrying about it yet. JMO or Shakir? It says also JMO or JSN in PPR.
JMO or Shakir? Well, I'm inclined to look at Shakir, even though Lenore they have been sus inside though. I believe Shakir is kind of money in the bank. He's got double-digit fantasy points in 9 of his 10 games, 4+ grabs in 8 of his last 9. You know, we should get plenty of scoring in the game. Kind of a neutral matchup schematically. I don't know about Dalton Kincaid. Yeah, I trust Shakir more. He's got a better floor, and while his ceiling may not compare as well to JMO's, he's got a ceiling. Like, that's pretty good, because if he scores as he's done, then most of the time he's getting 15 points if he scores.
Yep. I agree. I like Shakir. He's in my lineups often. We have the JMO or JSN conversation though. And this one is interesting to me.
Yeah, JMO, JSN. Let me look at JSN real quick, who's obviously coming on. He'll see, a tough matchup no matter what. Carter, Reed, Gardner, Buppity Bop. Positive schematic matchup, though. I mean, he is kind of coming on here. Yeah, I'm going JSN because I think DK, who doesn't have a good schematic matchup, is going to see a lot of sauce. Although they do play a decent amount of man, and that'll be good. But then when they are in man, it'll be sauce most of the time. So I'm going to go JSN there. Over JMO.
Agreed. I would agree with that just simply based on the floor that JSN has had. I will say, per Fantasy Points data, we talked about this on Dynasty Points last night. Episode is out now. JSN ranks 4th in the league in receptions when their team is trailing. It's also tied for 4th with 194 yards, and is 5th with 51 of his points coming when that team is trailing in the 4th quarter. Does a lot of damage in the 2-minute and the hurry up. The question is, John,
you can see that. Yeah.
Do we think the Jets have the lead versus Seattle? Because so far that has been what has been needed to unlock JSN. The problem with Jameson Williams, though, is he's kind of a one-trick pony. So I agree with you. Just a narrative that I'm interested in breaking down. This next week.
Those are good points, because there's a lower total expected. So the answer is no. I don't think the Jets are going to make this a hurry up game, especially if Breece Hall's banged up. So, but I would feel more comfortable with JSN. Give me 10 points, safer. But if I wanted upside, if I'm an underdog, if you look at your projected scoring and I'm a pretty big underdog, then I'll go Jameson there.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I just it's interesting to me how they deploy JS. It's so weird to me how they do it. They just wait until they need a screen and a hurry up and a He had a 1.7 ADOT last week. That's what, like, we know he's better than that. Can we? I don't know. It makes me crazy every week.
I hear you. But Lockett's kind of dead too. That helps.
He has taken over for Lockett. That has definitely been nice to see, because that was also a big question. We got 2 super chats we can end here on, because you wanted to get out of here in an hour. We're about at that. We've got a couple super chats. We can hit this. Nick B, as soon as I can, the mouse over there. Nick B sends the $2. Good morning, gents. For crying out loud, Stroud or Stafford? He says crying out Stroud. That's my fault. I butchered your joke. That is a great joke, and I
Oh,
butchered it. I'm
crying out
sorry.
Stroud.
Yeah,
Ah,
I'm sorry. That is a great joke, and I butchered it. That's on me.
for crying out Stroud, do I start Matthew Stafford infection? No.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, no. I mean, I was trying to find something that we could play off of that. Wow, it's close. I'm going Stafford. I thought Stafford might get creamed last week. No, he kind of did well against Philly. He might not have to throw it too much, but maybe Derek Carr can show up in the dome. It's not a challenging defense. He's just playing well. I mean, he's got two of the most productive receivers right now in fantasy football, in Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. So
Yeah.
he also threw for 328/2 against this defense. Puka Nacua should crush Alante Taylor. They got a bunch of scrubs back there. Yeah, I'm going to go Stafford. Stroud's just not playing well.
Yeah, Stroud is going to end up being my career making call when I said to fade him this year, and it is paying itself back tenfold. It is crazy to see how far he regressed. It's not just the O-line. He has regressed, and Slovic has regressed as well. It is
absolutely
kind of insane. TX Breeder 83 with the $2 half PPR. This is his wide receiver 2 spot, if that helps. Jameson Williams, Amari Cooper, or your boy, Darnell Mooney.
I'm going Mooney if he's in. If we're practicing all week, maybe he might be limited like today or something. But Mooney is, man, it's a good spot for Mooney. And I like you'll see Fulton a little bit. And I like the expected total here. Could be a little bit of a high scoring affair. JMO and Cooper are a little hit or miss. It's a tough one there. That's not easy. I wish I knew about Charverius Ward, by the way, for Cooper, but I like Mooney. Mooney's been better than these guys. Let's straight up. He's been better. Mooney was 2 weeks ago. Mooney was like a freaking 1. He was a wide receiver 1 2 weeks ago. So going Mooney if he's healthy.
Again, he was very good when he was healthy. Mr. Guru, we are at an hour. We have many streams to go today. We have 2 more with cashing points and matchup points yet to go. Busy day ahead to get everyone ready. Do you want to take us out of here?
Is there any more? I don't want to let people hang it. Can we go rapid fire? We've
got 55 more. So we can, we could rapid fire quite a few if you like. 100%. I was just trying to keep your timing on. Let me scroll up here. Let me see what we got.
Man, 50.
I know. Hey, people really like the hump day with Hansen. I mean, it's just is what it is. Give the people what they want. Ron John may not be as familiar with your scheduling. When do the Guru ranks get released?
Yeah, I have pushed it to Thursday, unfortunately, a couple of days, but lately I've been getting them up Wednesday night. We have projections on the site. This will be, you want to get my thoughts, you want to compare. Not a bad idea to have a second set here on the site because I've never done that, but I kind of like that environment. So Wednesday night, basically. I don't want to put them up too early when I haven't spent enough time looking at all the matchups.
That's right. That's how we end up with the people not checking back in, if you would, towards the end of the week. So keep that in mind as well. They do get tweaked as we go. Oak needs to know he needs 2 in a standard league. We're rapid firing, needs the touchdowns. Ramondre, Rashad White, DJ Moore, Jameson Williams.
Wow. I kind of liked Ramondre and I kind of like Rashad White as well. But I really do. But it's Carolina. It's a great matchup. But then Bucky is dominating, obviously looking great. And then do we get a little Tucker involved there? Ramondre is a tough one to back totally, but I do like it. I'm gonna go Ramondre there. I think he should be able to get another 20 carries here. It's
I
AR.
agree. Who are you pairing with him as he needs two?
Oh, right. Boppity bop bop bop. Wow, 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 wow. Maybe I mean, I probably would just go with the back. White.
Okay, I don't mind that at all. Looking for the
Yeah.
touchdown. Don't mind it at all. K Flip says, "Hey now, happy Thanksgiving." He needs one in a full flex PPR. Christian Watson, Amir Abdullah, Will Disley, Dontavian Wicks, or Jalen Waddle.
I'm going Will Disley. I know
I like that call. I like that call. We've got our man from Sunday popping in here on a Wednesday. Big Poppy David Ortiz. Shout out to you for hopping in here on a Wednesday. He says must win. It's all on the line. Full PPR, David Njoku or Kate Otten, who was rotten in his last game.
Yeah.
Because I traded for him.
Oh. Well, he has 3 really good matchups in his next 5 weeks, by the way,
know.
for what it's worth. That's probably why you traded for him.
Yeah, I'm just sour.
I'm going to go Njoku. Tillman a little banged up. Judy going to see Surtain. It could be an Njoku spot. I'm going to go Njoku there.
I like that call.
Because Cotton, I did it again. Cotton, Kate Otten, or AKA Cotton, they're just not going to have to throw it that much. I mean, come on. Are they?
That is a problem that I could see popping up. Another Sunday regular says, "Happy Thanksgiving, non-PPR. Would you start any of these guys over Isaiah Pacheco, Amir Abdullah, Jordan Addison, or Michael Pittman Jr.? Or are you
Don't
just
like
rolling Pacheco?"
Yeah, don't like Pittman this week because he'll get shadow coverage from Gonzalez most likely. Amir Abdullah, is this PPR?
This
non-PPR.
This is non-PPR. This is what I think is a standard.
I'm probably going Pacheco there.
Hard not to on his way back.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get a boatload, but it seemed like they were a little cautious last week, ramping him up. So I'm thinking, 12 carries, grab or 2. He's got to score, but they get a lot of goal line opportunities there in KC. Do the running backs.
That's right. Yep, I am with you here. Another Sunday regular, Shiraz. Morning, guys. Gino or Anthony Richardson this week. He says he's clinging to the last playoff spot. And like a theme, as we get later in the year, he needs this win.
Yeah, I'm going AR. I mean, they play a lot of man like the Lions do, and he should run. Don't know if he's going to go off throwing it, but I'm going to go AR there. Not the greatest schematic matchup, but again, rushing with the man coverage. It'll have to be someone else, honestly, because Pittman might not do it, and Downs is a little bit banged up. So that is a little scary there. But Gino is just, I don't know, man. Bad matchup. I mean, this could be a little bit of a problem for Gino in New York. Geno Smith revenge game, by the way. But it is a good schematic here. I'm still going to go with AR there and just hang my hat on the cheat code. All right, well, we should probably wrap it here. I apologize to those who we couldn't get to the answers to answer your questions. I mean, what we get? 100 questions over here?
At least. Yep, at least.
Damn.
We are cooking there. Can I talk you into 2 more quick ones?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we're going to do 2 more quick ones. Jamie Coretta says, "Good morning, Guru. Disley, Crafter, Ingram, in a non-PPR."
Disley all day.
I'm riding on the Disley train as well. We got MV Prof, pretty good play on names. Drop Pop Douglas for Elijah Moore. This is the one I wanted to get to. This is Elijah Moore has been getting the targets, but Pop Douglas has been hit or miss. Who do you trust more rest of season?
Yeah, I think I'll go Pop. I mean, he's been pretty solid in every one of his complete games with Drake May. Like, I think it's 5 now where he's got at least 4 grabs. I know they're spreading it around a little bit. Kendrick Bourne and Hooper, which is a little annoying, but yeah, Elijah Moore is a little more annoying. Like he's getting the targets, but they do have more guys around him, with Njoku, Tillman, and Judy. So that's 3, so he's really the 4th option, probably. So that I don't like that. Whereas Pop Douglas to me is like option 2B, 2B
Agreed.
or not 2B. Yeah.
No, I agree with that. So those 2 questions are a little bit selfish for my own reasons. I have a couple of these questions myself. I spotted them and I needed the guru rankings. Just like the people show up for Hump Day with Hansen. That'll do it today if you want to take us on out.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you to Tommy T-Bone Steaks there for doing what he does and co-hosting, serving me questions up on a platter. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and I'll be back tonight on our YouTube page doing the matchup points live stream with Graham and Brett, and Thomas will be here as well for that as well. I don't even know when we're doing that, but we'll figure that out. Until then, again, happy Thanksgiving. We'll catch you next week on Hump Day with Hansen.
What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome.